What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy, the Hito Eagle, coming back to y'all with another video. A lot of big news in the NBA that we're about to get into. Before I get into that, please like, share, subscribe to all your friends and family. Thank y'all for coming for the show. Big news in the NBA. Starting with the Miami Heat, my Miami Heat. Some news with LeBron, Kawhi Leonard. Starting off with the Miami Heat, we finally got our whale. Finally. After missing out on so many stars. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, most notably Damian Lillard. It's a few other stars I'm missing. We finally got our superstar in Miami, Pat Riley. You finally had the assets to get a deal done. It was kind of scary towards the end of this. Chams Charania, he reported that Miami and Boston were the only teams left in play for the superstar, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And it really did seem like Boston was prying pretty hard for Giannis near that end, but I had a pretty good feeling that Miami had the better package, the package that Milwaukee wanted ultimately. So the details of that trade, Miami get Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bobby Portis in exchange for Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez, Kaspas Jonas, Tyler Hero, number 13, the pick of this past draft, which was Nate Ament. First round picks in 2031, 2033, pick swap in 2030, and then a second round pick in 2033. So pretty decent haul from Mr. Antetokounmpo, Kumpo as some call him, Greek freak as some call him. I think, me personally, I wanted to see another year of the youth movement, especially Kaz. I'm pretty little salty we didn't keep Kaz in this situation. I definitely felt like he was one of the better players of last year's draft. Maybe not within that specific season, this past season, but ultimately I do think he'll prove to be one of the top 5 players in this draft. And for Miami to draft him, of course, for me, I was ecstatic. I didn't think this youth movement was going to be a forever thing, but, I wanted to see what we could really do with, shedding away with some more of these veterans and really focus in on guys like Kasparis, Pelle Larsson, Jaime Jaquez, maybe getting rid of a Tyler Hero. Might have not necessarily pulled a superstar of this caliber, but just focusing more on that youth movement. And obviously Kel'el Ware as well. But yeah, what I think will result from this trade, hopefully a championship. That's what Pat Riley has been prying for these last few years when going for these stars. So we'll see what the fruits of this trade will actually be. I do think we will win at least. I'm hopeful we do win at least 2 titles from this. It may not be this upcoming season, but we'll see what players come along now that the table is set. How much money we have left. We also signed Tim Hardaway Jr. today. I believe it was on a 1-year, $6.9 million deal. Now we're going to have to see if Andrew Wiggins opts out of this player option, just to give us a little bit more flexibility as far as cap is concerned. But our front line is pretty solid with Bam, Giannis, Bobby. I would love another big man in there that's taller than all these guys. But ultimately, if these are the three only bigs, I do think we can survive as long as we fill up the rest of that roster. So we'll see how that goes. And in other news, we got LeBron James moving on from the LA Lakers. Today, him and the Lakers decided they're going to part ways. Something that I honestly saw once Austin Reeves signed his brand new contract. I don't think the Lakers are trying to be a second apron team. So you already have a pretty penny tied up in just Austin Reeves and Luka. So, signing LeBron to anything, honestly, more than $25 million a year just didn't really seem sensible. And I feel like his tenure kind of ran its course. Still a crazy valuable player. We saw what he did in the first round without Luka and without Austin Reeves. Obviously, I think they exhausted a pretty good team effort in order to make it out that series. I don't know what they would have done if with a healthy Kevin Durant. That may have been a tougher full 7-game series, but LeBron still has a lot of talent. He has a lot of room in his game. He has a little left in his tank, but he still has a lot of game, I should say. He's not washed by any means. Definitely on the decline. Definitely on the back nine. Probably on the last couple holes of that back nine, but we'll see what LeBron does. I think ultimately, he'll probably, where smoke there's fire. It looks like he's gonna be going to Golden State, but I have a feeling that hopefully Miami can pry him, or it's gonna be a little farewell ending in Cleveland. So we'll see how that goes. In other news, we got Kawhi Leonard on his way back to Toronto. This was a move I was not expecting. Kind of thought Kawhi was just going to retire a Clipper. He kind of has the arbitration currently still going on with the NBA and the Clippers organization about the cap circumvention. Interested to see how all that falls out, but ultimately, this is good for Toronto. It did give up a little bit much, in my opinion. Just to go over the trade details: Grady Dick, Brandon Ingram, 2 first-round picks, one in 2031 and 2033, and then 2 second-round picks in 2030 and 2033, and the first-round pick swap in 2027. Honestly, that's one first-round pick and 1 pick swap a bit too much for my liking. Seems like Toronto was desperate. The way things ended with Ingram, especially in that Cleveland series, don't think they wanted to continue with him. I don't think him and Darko are on good terms. Now Kawhi back in Toronto is an upgrade ultimately. Don't think it wins them anything. It will keep them in contention. He's getting pretty old, and his health is still a question ultimately. Even after a pretty solid season last year, but we'll see. We'll see what he ends up doing with this. I love Kawhi's game. Always respected him as a player. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about today's recent news. I know there's a lot of things that have been going on, but kind of wanted to hit these heavy hitters. As I said, Miami finally got their whale. I'd love to see what they do with this. Let me know where y'all think LeBron's going and how y'all think Miami and ultimately the Raptors will do with the superstars that they got.